Live across SoCal, this is LA Live News Tonight on Fox 11 Plus.
Now at 8, 2 brutal attacks in Hermosa Beach, both reportedly involving a mob of teens on e-bikes. One man left unconscious, another hit by a 2x4. Tonight, his emotional reaction. Good evening, everybody. You're watching LA Live News Tonight. I'm Marla Tejas.
Thanks for watching us. I'm Laura Diaz. We begin with a follow-up on a vicious attack on Hermosa Beach that sent one man to the hospital. That beating on Friday reportedly carried out by a mob of teenagers on e-bikes.
And tonight we've learned of another similar assault in that very same neighborhood. Fox 11's Gina Silva spoke to the victim. She's live with a story you'll see only on Fox 11. Gina.
Yeah, it really is alarming because this is the second reported violent incident in the area involving teenagers on e-bikes. The man we spoke with tonight says it has to stop.
You don't plan at Hermosa Beach to have something like that happen. I mean, it was traumatic for me.
66-year-old Hart Cardozo says he was ambushed and beaten by a group of teenagers on electric bikes in Hermosa Beach.
I had to get 14 staples in my head. You know, I was in a lot of pain. I was disoriented. It seems surreal.
Cardozo believes it's the same group that Fox 11 News first told you about over the weekend. Teens on e-bikes who violently attacked a man who was walking home with pizza in Hermosa Beach on Friday night.
When I saw that on the news, I said enough is enough. People need to know my story. They need to report. If this is going on in the community and you're not talking about it, it needs to come out.
Cardozo says he was attacked on October 28th between 2 and 3 p.m. Stopped at Pier in Hermosa when a group of teens surrounded his car, slashed his tires, and shouted obscenities. When he stepped out, he says one of them struck him on the head with an object.
They need to be arrested. And whatever parents are facilitating this mischief, they really don't know what's going on with their kids. And, yeah, I want resolution. I want to feel safe in my community, and I don't.
The Hermosa Police Department says that they are aware of this incident and they are investigating. Of course, if you know anything about these attacks, if you recognize the kids in those videos, contact the Hermosa Police Department. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Well, Gina, it seems especially cruel. Do you think there's some kind of a game going on or some kind of a post being put on social media that's inviting these kind of acts against people who happen to be driving or walking by?
It's very possible. You know, that's something we don't know. The victim certainly feels like it was a coordinated attack. He says that when the teens approached his vehicle on both sides, they hit his car, and so obviously he was upset, and he exchanged words with the teens, and that's when they just went wild and started attacking, you know, slashing the tires. And then when he got out of the car, which is a big no-no, law enforcement has always said if you're ever involved in a situation like this, do not get out of your car because you will most likely be attacked, and that's what happened in this case.
Well, let's hope that some justice is served soon. All right, Gina, thank you so much. New at 8, 11 months later, the investigation continues into what started the devastating Palisades fire. Investigators believe a fire from days earlier, the Lockman fire, reignited, triggering the Palisades fire.
But was that fire properly extinguished? And whose responsibility was it to make sure it was? Most residents tonight just want answers. Fox 11's Ed Lasco's live in the Palisades, where you talk to residents who just say they're frustrated and want some answers. Ed?
Yes, Laura, you're right. They are very frustrated because the finger pointing continues from the city to the fire department to now the state. In the meantime, almost a year, as you were pointing out, you drive through the Palisades, through the village, right through what used to be Pacific Palisades, and you see this grim reminder of what happened on that horrific night. January 7th burnt into our memories. And now we have new evidence in that class action lawsuit, a lawsuit filed by more than 3,300 fire victims here, and the evidence points to allegations that brings the state's involvement into all of this. Okay, let's get to it. To the video we go. This is from that class action lawsuit, the new evidence we're talking about, pictures, cell and cell video. This is from January 2nd in the Lockman fire zone. It shows LA City firefighters mopping up, but it also shows what appears to be state parks representatives representatives also there on scene, conferring with the firefighters, and the allegations have come up, possibly telling the firefighters what they could do and could not do, dealing with those burning embers, because as you know, part of the Lockman fire burned on the state land, state parks land, and that was the difference there in the allegations that are coming, that maybe the city fire department had its hands tied by state regulations. Listen to the attorney involved in that class action lawsuit.
Those reports indicate that state park representatives were up there and they were telling the firefighters that they couldn't use a bulldozer to fight the fire. And in the mop-up, they couldn't touch certain plants. The plants were protected. There are reports of state park representatives coming up while the Lockman fire was still being fought by firefighters, saying you can't use a bulldozer to fight the fire, which would have been something firefighters may have wanted to use to fight the fire. And then in the mop-up, they went up there and they had a map and they said, you can't go over here and you can't touch these plants. You can't do anything to disturb these areas.
That's all part of the new evidence coming out in that lawsuit. The state, though, is quick to fire back. This is part of the statement I read in part. And it says, quote, the notion that state parks favors plants over people is ludicrous. State parks never hinders an active firefighting response, and firefighting decisions are up to the responding agency. Stop quote as we come back out live. Of course, the responding agency here, LA City Fire. All of this continues to play out, and it will play out in court first thing in the morning as attorneys for the state, the city, and the attorneys representing that class action lawsuit, they are expected to be in court. The attorneys for the lawsuit, they want to get depositions from the firefighters, city firefighters, and the state parks reps to find out exactly what was said up there on that hilltop January 1st, January 2nd, what direction, what orders might have been given that could have hindered the firefighter of any event, could have hindered the firefighters from getting into with heavy equipment or their hose lines and shutting down those burning embers, because, ladies, as we know, just a couple of days later from you have the fire starts, the Lockman fire, New Year's Day, January 1st, January 2nd, they're up there mopping, and then January 7th, the winds pick up, and it's a horrific, deadly night here through the Palisades.
Ed, the plaintiffs, they want a monetary judgment. What's the end game?
I think the end game is, first of all, answers. Talking to several of the folks up here, and we'll see more of that on our newscast coming up at 10 o'clock. They're saying, we're just frustrated. Almost a year. We know there are people responsible. One fellow was telling me, and he's part of the lawsuit actually, he was saying that the most frustrating thing is we know people who were supposed to do their job did not do their job. We just want them to be held accountable. So to answer your question, certainly I think it's that accountability and to find out exactly who's responsible. And then certainly, somebody's got to pay for what happened to all of this.
Mm-hmm. And certainly we've seen in other disasters too, Ed, where out of all of this horrible pain and just the complete demolition of these properties and these homes, that a whole new way of looking at emergency response comes into play. Do you think some of that is what they're asking for?
Perhaps I think down the road, but I think they're laser focused right now on, we want to know who's responsible. Was it the city? What role did the mayor play? I kept hearing that over and over again, and that she's got a hand in all of it. So they're unhappy, I think, to answer your question, Laura, about the pace of the investigation. They wanted answers faster, and they wanted to find out, as we all want to say, that, we want those answers because we never want something this horrific to happen again.
Ed Lascos, thank you for your live report. New video showing 3 people being taken into custody at the apartment complex in Del Rey, where an 8-year-old girl was wounded by gunfire. You can see 3 men being put in handcuffs and put in patrol cars. We have calls into the LAPD to get more details to find out if this is linked to that shooting. We'll bring you any updates as we get them. And the little girl is recovering tonight after the bullet went through a wall and grazed her in the back of the head. Fox 11's Haley Winslow in Del Rey with more.
Traumatized 8-year-old Helen sits in a hospital bed with her head covered in a bandage. She was shot in the head and miraculously survived.
They watched their daughter covered with blood, and they took her to the emergency room, and they were afraid they would lose her.
Sad and scared, Helen's mom recounts in Spanish, met by the Del Rey Neighborhood Council as the family returns home.
They're scared to death to live here. Would you want your kids playing in the living room when this just happened?
Inside the apartment, their daughter's toys, Christmas books, and along the top of the couch, her stuffed animal friends who comfort her while she watches TV, just as little Helen was doing Sunday afternoon.
Their daughter was sitting by the wall and the bullet came through and grazed her, and immediately they realized that she had been shot, and the mom started screaming, and their daughter was quite pale.
Police are investigating how or why the gun went off in the unit next door. Meanwhile, their neighborhood council is hoping to bring about positive change to an area they say desperately needs it and help this family, fortunate no doubt, but with a lot of healing ahead.
LA feels like a big city. But we're all little neighborhoods, and we have to take care of each other. And this family needs our support right now in the Delray and West Side neighborhood. And so if anyone's in a position to support and help and reach out, this family could use that help.
LAPD is still investigating. If you'd like to help the family, we'll put a link to a GoFundMe in Little Helen's name on our website, foxla.com. I'm Haley Winslow for Fox 11 News.
Information on the death of a local teen whose body was found inside the trunk of a well-known singer, that singer being David, may be hard to come by for a while. The LA County Medical Examiner's Office says they will they will comply with a court order from the LAPD to not authorize the release of any records or details tied to the investigation of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. This includes details on the 15-year-old's cause of death. The chief medical examiner states in part the practice of security holds is virtually unheard of in other counties and has not been proven to improve outcomes in the legal system. We are dedicated to serving our community with full transparency. However, the law precludes us from doing so while the court order remains in this case. Now, within the past week, TMZ has reported David, a suspect in Rivas Hernandez's death, and that his rental home was part of the investigation. TMZ reports a large freezer in that home is being investigated because the girl's body was reportedly frozen for months before her decomposed body was found in a trunk. That car was registered to David.
New details tonight on that crash that killed an Alhambra officer, Alex Sanders, and a woman. The driver, identified as 27-year-old Stephen Ara Zapata, has been charged with 2 counts of murder. The crash happened Thursday morning after officers were chasing a stolen SUV and it crashed into a police cruiser. It's unclear if Officer Sanders was actually in that chase or if he was simply responding to what had happened. He is survived by his fiancée, 2 younger sisters, and a brother.
Still ahead at 8, a 12-year-old boy hit by a car while riding his bike. The driver takes off, leaving him seriously hurt. The search for that suspect is underway.
Plus, city leaders march with community members taking a stand against widespread ICE raids. Their demands for an investigation into the immigration operations and conduct by federal agents.
We do have some beautiful weather in store for our holiday week. I'll have the details on that, but also the chance at receiving some wet weather by the time this weekend arrives. All that coming up.
Today, lawmakers, religious leaders, and community members took part in a civil rights march, 2025 style. It was a show of support for the undocumented and U.S. citizens who've been taken into custody by federal immigration officers. Those actions are now under investigation by congressional Democrats. The hearing was passionate, with a cross-section of religious and community activists speaking. The idea was to document all that has happened here in Southern California during this tumultuous time.
They're being traumatized, and they're not here today. I'm here to speak for them. I'm their voice today.
Monday, in front of Our Lady Queen of Angels Catholic Church in downtown Los Angeles, city leaders, civil rights leaders, and faith leaders stood up for those in the eye of the immigration storm. They held signs, chanted, and demanded accountability. LA Mayor Karen Bass was vocal in her leadership.
We want to establish a record because when the political winds change, we want to hold those accountable. We want transparency and accountability for all of the egregious, unconstitutional acts that are taking place.
Los Angeles has been ground zero for immigration raids. For months, agents roamed the streets of LA, toting guns and chasing down undocumented immigrants. Some people were pulled from their cars by masked agents. Federal immigration officials say some 7,000 undocumented immigrants have been arrested in the LA area since June 6th. Fear over the raids left city streets empty, and church pews empty too.
There are a lot of fears, so people who are normally enjoy Sundays at the church, they were not more able to come just because of fear.
After the rally, supporters walked to the Metropolitan Water District building where the public hearing was held. Congressman Robert Garcia oversaw the proceedings. At issue is whether federal immigration agents have unlawfully detained U.S. citizens and others in recent months.
We will hold those that are breaking our Constitution and denying due process accountable. Now, the American people are also watching. In this country, no one is above the law, and the Constitution protects everyone. The Constitution clearly states that due process is afforded to all people, not just U.S. citizens, but non-citizens and others alike.
Today's gathering was a field hearing. No Republicans participated. At today's hearing, the congressman announced the launch of the Oversight Immigration Enforcement Dashboard. It's meant to document and archive possible misconduct by federal agents. The congressman said the dashboard already has over 250 alleged documented instances. Marla?
All right, more to come, obviously.
Yes.
Okay. New details tonight on a major blow to the Trump administration. A federal judge dismissed 2 criminal cases, saying the prosecutor who brought the charges against New York Attorney General Letitia James and former FBI Director James Comey was illegally appointed by the Justice Department.
I'm grateful that the court ended the case against me, which was a prosecution based on malevolence and incompetence, and a reflection of what the Department of Justice has become under Donald Trump, which is heartbreaking.
The federal judge ruled that prosecutor Lindsay Halligan, seen right here, had been unlawfully appointed, and the indictments she secured against Comey and James must be thrown out. The 2 high-profile targets had argued that their prosecutions were motivated by President Trump's attempt to punish his foes. In a statement, New York's Attorney General says she is heartened by the judge's decision regarding the, quote, baseless charges. James added she will continue fighting for New Yorkers every single day. The judge ordered the indictments to be dismissed without prejudice, which means prosecutors can file the same charges later. All right, coming up, we have cats, we have dogs. Could we soon have raccoons?
Why scientists believe these masked mammals are inching closer to becoming pets. That's coming up next.
Weather is sponsored by My Home Sold.
Oh, look at this beautiful night, Marla. This is so gorgeous. Everyone's feeling like they're getting into the holiday spirit now as we look forward to Thanksgiving. Star Harvey, our meteorologist, standing by to tell us what the weather's going to be like as we get ready to enjoy family and friends.
Yeah, well, here across Southern California, we do have beautiful conditions through the remainder of this work week. We arrive at this weekend a little bit different, but there are portions of our country that will see some wet weather for the holiday. A beautiful look outside right now. We do have dry conditions, but also decreasing cloud cover. Tonight is also going to be a chilly night for a lot of us. This is the reason why we do have a frost advisory in place. This is going to include areas off to the west of LA, but also up to the north. So across the Antelope Valley area, stretching from tomorrow morning at 2 a.m. to 9 a.m., where we could see temperatures dip to about 32 degrees or near it. So if you're in Lancaster, just watch for that. Bring those plants indoors and make sure also our babies, our fur babies, are indoors as well. We also have that dense fog advisory. This is going to be off across the Bakersfield area, going as far north as Fresno. So if you're going to be out and about traveling, this is day 2 of this dense fog advisory. It does go until I'd say around the noon hour, moving into tomorrow. So quite a long time to have that in place, about a 12-hour span there. Otherwise, our headlines locally, we are expecting our temperatures to continue to be above normal for most of this week. We do have a gusty Santa Ana wind pattern. It should mostly impact us Tuesday, so tomorrow through at least a Thursday. So yes, it does happen to fall on our Thanksgiving holiday. And then as this weekend approaches, we are looking at our temperatures to drop down, and we may also see those winds holding on across some of the area even into this weekend. Otherwise, we hit 71 degrees today. We were at 71 for the entire weekend. Our highs on Saturday, 71. Our highs on Sunday, also 71. This does put us fairly close to our normal, just off at about 1 degree there. And as we do progress through the rest of this week, we are anticipating that temperatures will be slightly above that. Actually, outside right now, we do have some clouds in place, not much, but we will continue to have a decrease of that cloud cover. Temperatures at 55 degrees right now in LA. We do have a calm wind pattern, slightly warmer across Ontario at 60 degrees, 57 in San Bernardino. Torrance coming in at 57 degrees right now as well, in Manhattan at 61. Here's a look at those temperatures dropping down low for tonight. Most of us in the lower 50s. We'll have a few 40s scattered across the area as well. But if you are in our high deserts and our mountains, your temperatures in the 30s. I'll be back with a map showing the precipitation moving across the country a little bit later this evening. But for now, back to you.
Thanks, Star. Still ahead right here, a young boy hit by a car while riding his bike in Anaheim.
How he's doing and what we know about the driver. Plus, the mission to help for the holidays is underway. And Matthew Seedorf, he's there.
Yeah, we're in El Segundo tonight where the Chargers players are giving back to the homeless. It's an inspiring and hopeful story just in time for Thanksgiving. Coming up next.
across SoCal. This is LA Live News Tonight on Fox 11 Plus.
Tonight, a 12-year-old boy is recuperating from serious injuries. He was riding his bike when he was hit by a car in Anaheim.
As of now, the driver is nowhere to be found. Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez has details on the victim and the search for the suspect.
I heard the car hit here on this side.
The red Honda you see on security video fleeing after hitting a 12-year-old boy riding an e-bike in Anaheim. The vehicle stopping after crashing into other cars down the street, where the people inside the Honda took off.
They look young. They look like they were in between their maybe 20, 25.
Se lo pasó hacia la brava a una velocidad extrema.
The Honda sped through the stop sign, he says, explaining the 12-year-old boy was visiting with his son.
We're just in a break.
That young friend visibly shaken like so many others on the street today.
I have 10-year-old twins. They heard about the situation, and we all just sat on my bed last night and held our hands together and prayed because we were with him a few nights before. And so, yeah, it breaks my heart.
She owns the neighborhood market half a block from where the boy was hit.
We've talked about it with neighbors here that we need speed bumps. Traffic that comes through here sometimes doesn't stop, or they're just zooming through our neighborhoods when kids are just riding around trying to have a good time.
Jason, that's the 12-year-old boy's name. His family doesn't want the last name out yet, but they're telling us that he has a concussion, he has a broken leg and other injuries, but he is expected to make it. As to the suspects, police say the car goes back to Fullerton. They have an idea who the driver is, and hopefully they'll get that person into custody sooner rather than later. In Anaheim, I'm Christina Gonzalez, Fox 11 News.
The Farmers Insurance Group is seeking a rate increase as it lifts its cap on new homeowner policies it'll write in California. It's asking California's Department of Insurance to approve a nearly 7% increase on homeowners across the state. The company says its costs have climbed dramatically in recent years, due mostly to the high wildfire risk in California. At the same time, Farmers has lifted its cap on the new homeowner insurance policies it imposed 2 years ago. Farmers is California's second largest home insurer behind State Farm.
A local psychologist is putting powerful tools directly into the hands of families recovering from the January wildfires. Dr. Ashley Reed wrote a storybook to help young children understand what happened during the fires using simple, concrete language that feels safe and familiar. Dr. Reed specializes in early childhood and maternal mental health. She also created companion videos that walk adults through introducing the topic and reading the book in a way that helps kids process fear, confusion, and major emotions.
We like to use examples that children understand themselves. So when we were talking about what happened to your home or what might have happened to other people's homes, we used examples that children are familiar with. My hope is that if parents or educators use this book as a tool for their children, that the children first and foremost understand what happened and that they feel my parents protect me and love me and that they know that they're not alone.
Dr. Reed is among the many who are helping families process and rebuild following the January wildfires. You will hear more incredible stories from fire survivors during our Fox 11 special, Hope After the Flames. It airs this Wednesday at 9:30 with an encore presentation Thursday at 6:30.
Well, so important for these children to be able to talk about what they're feeling instead of stuffing those emotions, right? Because it could be far worse maybe even than what they actually saw.
Absolutely. And we also talk in this special about the power of music and kids turning to music in their healing process too.
I look forward to the special.
It's really important.
Well, LA's pro sports teams are giving thanks to their fans this holiday season.
Some holding food drives, others catered dinners. Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf, he's live tonight in El Segundo with more from the Chargers. Matthew.
Well, you know what they say, family, food, and football, that's what Thanksgiving is all about, and we had all of that tonight. Take a look at this venue. This is where it was all happening. Just almost feels like a wedding venue for this sort of reception tonight, right at the Bolt here in El Segundo outside the Chargers practice facility. But go and take a look at this video. Lots of dancing, singing, and smiling tonight. The Thanksgiving event put on by Chargers kicker Cameron Dicker, hosting more than 30 homeless people, giving them a 4-course candlelight dinner, sharing the table with some of their favorite players like wide receiver Lad McConkey, along with teammates J.K. Scott, Josh Harris, and Foster Foster Sorrell, Cameron Dicker, the Salvation Army, and the King's Table, hoping tonight gives the homeless hope and a sense of dignity.
Wholeheartedly, and King's Table is here just celebrating the holidays and bringing in homeless people to come and just have a meal together, just sit down, have a conversation, and just share the love that Jesus has for us, and hopefully inspire hope in their life.
What a cool event. I mean, this started at 6 o'clock tonight. It's now after 8:30. It's been going on 2.5 hours, and we still see some of the Chargers players here enjoying the evening with their new friends, new family members, and again, all this happening before the holidays, and just so nice to see some of these smiles and so many people having a good time tonight right before Thanksgiving here on Thursday. Reporting live in El Segundo, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
Yeah, Matthew, you witnessed it firsthand. What did it do to the morale of these people who were able to enjoy a meal like this?
Oh, it was unbelievable. We saw some people crying. We saw laughter. We saw just everyone having so much fun. We saw dancing. It was unbelievable to see. And again, right before the holidays, just puts a smile on your heart.
And you know, there's almost nothing you can do greater with another person than to sit down and have a meal, right? And it looked like they were all seated together, so they really had a chance to have a conversation around the table.
Yeah, I mean, I saw wide receiver Ryan McConkey had his phone out, and he was showing some video of his dog to the people sitting next to him. Just such a cool moment to see these real conversations happening with, you know, their favorite players who are stars to them while they're experiencing so much hardship in their lives.
Yeah,
love it.
Really nice.
Yeah, really great. All right, Matthew, thank you so much. Look forward to your full report. Well, some Laker legends, including Robert Horry, AC Green, and Sasha Vujicic on hand to downtown to help the Salvation Army pass out some Thanksgiving cheer to hundreds of families today. Each family received a turkey and all the fixins. A nice way to spread some holiday cheer.
Day is always wonderful for me. This reminds me of growing up in the South in Alabama, and my grandmother who was always giving back to the community. Sometimes you don't have the food on the table, but this is a great opportunity to provide that food and a great way to have a story to tell.
The Lakers are back in action tomorrow night, taking on crosstown rivals, the Clippers, at Crypto.com Arena.
And more generosity right here, Marla. The family of the late Dodgers legend Fernando Valenzuela, they were in the giving mood once again this year. They held their second annual turkey giveaway today. It was held at Fernando Mania Forever mural, which has become quite famous there in Boyle Heights. A lot of people come to take selfies and just gather there. The Valenzuela family giving back to the community and helping those in need. As you will recall, of course, Fernando Valenzuela died last year. He was 63 years old.
It's just been just over a year since his death, in fact. And it's just amazing to see these professional teams and players and their families open up their wallets and their hearts this time of year.
Right, and to go into the neighborhoods that need it the most, like you know, the last one in Boyle Heights, of course, we know, huge Latino population there, a lot of issues with immigration and people being out of work and just the whole thing. So it's nice to see these famous people come together and give back to the communities who've supported them for many years.
Yeah, it's like the artwork that Robert Vargas did, right? Because he does that for free as well. And
all of it's beautiful.
It's amazing.
All right, coming up right here, the White House kicks off the holiday season today with the arrival of its annual Christmas tree.
It comes as New York Times Square gets ready to ring in 2026 with a whole new look. Fox's Tanya J. Powers takes us there.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas in the nation's capital. First Lady Melania Trump receiving the official White House Christmas tree on Monday, a 25-foot concolor fir, which will sit in the Blue Room.
It's been pretty exciting, pretty surreal.
It came from Corson's Tree Farms in Sidney Township, Michigan, 150 miles northwest of Detroit, following a nationwide contest. In 2015, Corson's had the Reserve Grand Champion tree, which went to then Vice President Joe Biden.
It's been a long process preparing for this, you know, going back to the summer after winning the contest, and immediately your focus shifts to, okay, what's next? Now we need to find a tree large enough.
And in New York, the annual New Year's Eve ball drop has gotten a makeover. Its 9th since the tradition began in 1907.
You'll get to see just what we've been
sweating out for the last 9 years.
The new ball was raised in Times Square for the first time on Monday. It's covered in more than 5,200 Waterford crystals, nearly twice as many as the last one.
The Times Square New Year's Eve ball represents hope, unity, and new beginnings. For well over a century, this iconic symbol has brought people together from all over the world.
The traditions continue Tuesday when President Trump officially pardons a pair of turkeys named Gobble and Waddle. In New York, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
That lucky pardoned turkey, right? All right, coming up, could this be America's newest pet?
Why scientists believe raccoons are trying to domesticate themselves. Coming up next.
We do have some beautiful weather ahead of us this week. We have some changes coming as well. I'll have all of those details and more after this break.
You know that song. It's rivalry week. USC and UCLA are playing each other this Saturday. USC held its annual Conquest Spirit Rally. It celebrates the big football game against the Bruins with a carnival, food trucks, games, and prizes. The big game is this Saturday at the Coliseum.
And over at UCLA, Skyfox was over Bruin Plaza for the Beat SC Week kickoff. They had tailgate games and a performance from the UCLA band. The first 300 students got to exchange any red piece of clothing, excluding undergarments, or a non-perishable food item for a Beat SC Week t-shirt. The big game is this Saturday at the Coliseum. They take this very seriously.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're an alum of either one, I'm not. So
neither am I.
But I have family who's graduated from UCLA, and this goes on. All the phone calls back and forth. We're going to beat you, and then the trash talk, all of it.
All of it, yeah. All right. Well, what's the weather going to be like this weekend as we bring in Star Harvey to the conversation? Actually, no, I'm jumping ahead. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. We're going to tell you about something right here.
Yes.
Brand new elementary school in Riverside is helping revive the historic Casablanca neighborhood.
Fox 11's Coco McAvoy shows us the school's history and the impact this new campus has on the community.
This is
is what's left of the original Casablanca Elementary School. It closed in 1967 as part of Riverside's plan to desegregate its schools. Now, nearly 60 years later, Casablanca Elementary School has reopened, and what it means to the community is indescribable.
Ooh, got your Casablanca sweaters?
There's nothing quite like a first impression.
Good morning.
And at the brand new Casablanca Elementary School in Riverside, that impression starts with a special greeting.
Good morning.
From the principal, Bernie Torres.
I'm in my 27th year in education, and to be given the opportunity to reimagine learning for our students from Casablanca Elementary, it's been the highlight of my career.
Casablanca Elementary is a STEM-focused school.
So research will show you that in STEM careers, minorities are underrepresented. And so why not start early on?
At Casablanca, it starts at TK with 3 STEM labs.
This is our robotics lab.
And hands-on outdoor science spaces.
What can you tell me about the leaves?
There's black leaves. But beyond the education is the school's rich history.
It's important for our community to honor the history and the contributions of our neighborhoods. Here's the 1923 class. Wow.
The Casablanca neighborhood is one of the oldest Latino neighborhoods in California. Back in the 60s, Casablanca Elementary shut down after Riverside Unified became the first large public school district to voluntarily desegregate its schools during the Civil Rights Movement.
Although I believe there were great intentions, unfortunately what happened was it fragmented the neighborhood. Students were sent to 7 different schools.
Impacting families for generations, like the Casianos.
A lot of our families are split up between all those 5 schools. Having this here gives a chance for all of our families to be united as one in the neighborhood.
Josh Casiano Sr. says the elementary school is more than he imagined.
It's beautiful, it's clean, it's not like any of the school that's been around here. So this is like the next level education for these kids.
Including his son.
Casablanca Phoenixes. This is Xavier Casiano.
Xavier is involved in many programs.
I am in Rising Leaders, so it's very fun helping with little kids, kindergartners, and stuff like that.
Take advantage of everything you got.
The school's chosen mascot is a phoenix, a bird that represents rebirth, renewal, and resilience. All things that perfectly describe the transformation in the Casablanca neighborhood.
When you research the history of Casablanca neighborhood, there were moments where it wasn't too positive. And I believe that the school is truly going to change the narrative of the neighborhood.
In a way, it already has, by not just making a good first impression before classes begin.
Go, draw your thing.
But making a lasting one for decades to come in the Casablanca neighborhood. Coco McAvoy, Fox 11 News.
All right, well, that was a really well done report, an important one. Now it's time to get to Star Harvey. Sorry, I jumped the gun there.
It's okay. You know, we got some things to talk about, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Weather, the holidays coming up, and we are anticipating that it's going to be a good one, so.
Really nice weather on Thursday.
Could you barbecue your turkey outside?
What? Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
If you have that option, get out there and do it. I will not be. I'll be at my mom's house.
You'll be there to eat.
Yeah. I'm there to eat. But then as we approach this weekend, we may see some cooler weather moving in, and then also the chance for some precipitation. We're not looking at much, but still got to talk about it. We are continuing under dry conditions flowing in from this weekend. We do have some cold spots that will be on the map tonight. We're going to see them across not just some of our mountains, but also into our high deserts. We have a frost advisory in place across portions of the Antelope Valley. We can see those temperatures dip to about 32 degrees or around it. That does expire at the 9 a.m. hour tomorrow. So if you wake up, you may have some frost outside, and that means bring those outdoor plants indoors and take care of our pets. I have to remind you to bring them indoors if they're not already. We also have a dense fog advisory up near the Bakersfield area. This dense fog advisory will be in place through Thursday. So each morning we may see that fog in place, and it may be not allowing us to have visibility further than a quarter of a mile at times. So just watch it out there. Otherwise, here's a look at our temperatures. Already below the freezing mark in Big Bear, 28 degrees. Palmdale on its way. We're at 47 degrees right now. I do know from looking at our temps, they do drop down into the 30s later tonight. 52 right now in Corona. 59 in Burbank. Our winds haven't been so much of an issue through our Monday. They're still moving fairly calm, 3 to about 9 miles per hour across the area, kicking up a little heavier across Malibu. But as we do move into tomorrow and carrying us through at least our Thursday, we may have some gusty Santa Ana winds moving through the area. Otherwise, tonight, expect your temperatures to be in the 30s, a few 40s, but also a few 50s across the area as well. Now, we are under the command of high pressure, and this will be the case to get us through not just the middle of our week, rolling into our Thanksgiving holiday, and also our Friday. We move into this weekend, and we are looking at some cooler weather flowing in from the north there. And then with that system attached to it, we may also see the likelihood of a 10% chance of some rain brushing through the area. Here's a look at our gusts getting into tomorrow morning. We'll be watching the Santa Clarita, the San Fernando Valley area, also into the Inland Empire and I'd say Antelope Valley area. We may be also keeping our eyes on. This will be not just tomorrow. Moving into our Wednesday, you still see those colors popping up there with the yellows and the orange, just indicating winds could be a little heavier across this portions of the region. This will be into our Thanksgiving holiday as well. And as we move into our Friday, we'll see those winds subside. Tuesday, moving into tomorrow, we have portions of the Midwest, the East Coast, and also the South seeing some wet weather. By the time we get to Wednesday, most of that wet weather still holding off to the East Coast. We may also see some across the Pacific Northwest. Now, most of the country does look dry for our Thursday, with the exception of what's happening across the Pacific Northwest and, of course, the Midwest and the East Coast. And then on Friday, our plains also seeing some wet weather. Not the case for us here across the LA area. Our Thanksgiving holiday, thankfully, we'll be in the 70s with some mix of sun and clouds and dry conditions. Back to you.
Sounds great. Thank you, Star. We still have more news ahead at 8.
But first, here's a preview of what's coming up at 9 o'clock. Elon Musk exited the White House months ago. So what happened to the Department of Government Efficiency? We dive into the status of Doge. Plus, a Burbank police dog killed in the line of duty. An update on how he's being honored for his service ahead at 9.
Well, how about this? Raccoons may be inching closer to becoming America's next pet. Affectionately referred to as trash pandas, a new study shows the masked mammals could be trying to domesticate themselves. Research found city raccoons are becoming more comfortable around humans and changing their appearance. 20,000 pictures of raccoons were analyzed. Scientists saw a clear reduction in snout length in urban raccoons compared to their rural cousins. Scientists say this is a shift consistent with the early stages of domestication seen in cats and dogs. If you're considering getting yourself a raccoon for Christmas, you have to move out of state. They're illegal to own as pets in California. I don't know. I would think that squirrels would become the next pet, because at the park where I take baby girl now, I mean, people feed, and you're not supposed to feed them, and they come right up to them like.
Right, and we've covered stories about them also, like going up a person's leg and taking a little nip at people's leg. I don't know. Maybe let them be in nature where they were intended.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. All right, it's the same question every Turkey Day. What is the best time to eat Thanksgiving dinner?
Whenever someone gives it to you. But Martha Stewart is weighing in, but her answer is causing some debate.
She says 2 p.m. is the perfect time.
Because eating earlier means you can watch football, have more drinks, and there's room later for dessert or even seconds or even thirds. Many people disagree, saying 2 is too early.
I'm all for 2 o'clock at this point.
We usually have ours about 3 o'clock.
Yeah, that's a good, that's
like
a good
a
time.
supper, like they say in the South, supper.
A supper, yeah. And it's true. You got to let it settle because you eat so much, and then you don't want to eat dessert too late.
Yeah, and knowing you, you'd probably go out for a run after.
No, no. I try and do the turkey trot before, right?
That's ideal.
All right, don't go anywhere. We're not done yet.
LA Live News tonight continues at 9 right after the break.
Live across SoCal, this is LA Live News Tonight on Fox 11 Plus.
Palisades fire could have and should have been avoided by the state park if they had followed their own policy, gone up to their land, checked to make sure all of those embers were extinguished as their policy requires. And had they done that, we would not have had the Palisades fire.
Now at 9, the investigation continues into the link between the January 1st Lockman fire and the Palisades fire just days later. Fire survivors want answers on how they both were handled. Plus, a security hold placed on the case of a teen girl found dead in the trunk of a car belonging to singer David, what the medical examiner had to say about it. And we're inching closer to Turkey Day. Meteorologist Star with a preview of your Thanksgiving forecast. Star?
Well, Laura, we can't expect to have plenty of sunshine through this week. When we arrive at the holiday, not much changing. I'll have the details on what to expect through the rest of this week, but also your weekend forecast as well.
Star Harvey, thank you, and good evening. You're watching LA Live News Tonight. I'm Laura Diaz. New at 9 o'clock, 11 months later, the investigation continues into what started the devastating Palisades fire. Investigators believe a fire from just days earlier, the Lockman fire, reignited, triggering the Palisades fire. But was that fire properly extinguished? And whose responsibility was it to make sure it was? Most residents tonight just want answers. Fox 11's Ed Lascos is live in the Palisades and spoke with residents who are frustrated. Ed?
Yeah, they sure are, Laura. Very frustrated because as you were talking, 11 months now, you walk and drive through the Palisades Village. You see this. It's a grim reminder of that deadly fire that ripped through here January 7th. We're a month and a couple of weeks away from that grim anniversary. And now you have brand new evidence out in that class action lawsuit filed by some 3,300 fire victims, fire survivors. They want answers, and those new evidence, the cell phone videos and the pictures point the finger of blame toward the state. Let's get to it. To the video we go. This is some of that brand new evidence that's out as part of that class action lawsuit. It is pictures from up in the Lockman fire zone. This is January 2nd. Remember, that fire started New Year's Day, January 1st. This is the second, the mop-up. It shows LA City firefighters and what appears to be a state parks representative. The representative is talking to the firefighters, conferring with them, and now that seems to back up reports we've been hearing that the firefighters were told by that state rep what they could do, what they could not do, because that Lockman fire burned on the state land, state parks land, and that brings allegations that the state has a big responsibility in all of this. Listen to the attorney involved in that class action lawsuit.
Those reports indicate that state park representatives were up there and they were telling the firefighters that they couldn't use a bulldozer to fight the fire. And in the mop-up, they couldn't touch certain plants. The plants were protected. There are reports of state park representatives coming up while the Lockman fire was still being fought by firefighters, saying you can't use a bulldozer to fight the fire, which would have been something firefighters may have wanted to use to fight the fire. And then in the mop-up, they went up there and they had a map and they said, you can't go over here and you can't touch these plants. You can't do anything to disturb these areas.
And now those accusations bringing a very quick, sharp response from the state. Part of their statement, it reads in part, and I quote, "The notion that state parks favors plants over people is ludicrous. State parks never hinders an active firefighting response, and firefighting decisions are up to the responding agency." Stop quote as we come back out here. The responding agency, of course, LA City Fire, part of the investigation, huge part of the investigation that has been going on. To that class action lawsuit, the attorneys are expected to back in court first thing in the morning. The attorneys want to have depositions of the firefighters involved and also the state park reps. They want to get it on record, the depositions as to what was said up there on that mountaintop January 1st, January 2nd, what orders were given as this lawsuit and the investigation really moves forward, Laura. And that's the hope from a lot of the folks who've been talking here tonight, that somehow, some way, they're going to get some answers. Just frustrated that it's taken so long after everything they've been through.
Well, Ed, as you're explaining of it, I'm reminded of what almost happens in a criminal investigation. We know this is civil, but really kind of a methodical look at the chain of command, what happened, who said this, what day it happened, and what time. How would you describe it?
Yeah, I think exactly to your point, Laura, that's a very good analogy to make, because it's really about building that timetable. We hear so many times when you follow the legal E's, the legal eagles, timetable, the turn of events, and the depositions, as the attorney was saying, are so important in this case, because you're talking about 11 months already, coming up to a year. The memory starts to fade a little bit. Can you remember what you might have said a week ago this very night? It's difficult, so they want exact quotes, and there's a lot at stake here when you talk about state officials, state representatives, LA City firefighters, and down the line of command it goes. So they want to get that on record. Again, very much like the kind of case you described, very methodical, piece by piece, building the evidence, building the timetable.
All right. Thank you so much, Ed Laskos. We'll continue to follow this story. And developing tonight, 2 brutal attacks in Hermosa Beach, both reportedly involving a mob of teens on e-bikes. One man left unconscious, another hit by a 2x4. Tonight, his emotional reaction. Fox 11's Gina Silva has a story you will see only on Fox 11.
You don't plan at Hermosa Beach to have something like that happen. I mean, it was traumatic for me.
66-year-old Hart Cardozo says he was ambushed and beaten by a group of teenagers on electric bikes in Hermosa Beach.
I had to get 14 staples in my head. You know, I was in a lot of pain. I was disoriented. It seems surreal.
Cardozo believes it's the same group that Fox 11 News first told you about over the weekend. Teens on e-bikes who violently attacked a man who was walking home with pizza in Hermosa Beach on Friday night.
When I saw that on the news, I said enough is enough. People need to know my story. They need to report if this is going on in the community and you're not talking about it. It needs to come out.
Cardozo says he was attacked on October 28th between 2 and 3 p.m. Stopped at Pier in Hermosa when a group of teens surrounded his car, slashed his tires, and shouted obscenities. When he stepped out, he says one of them struck him on the head with an object.
They need to be arrested. And whatever parents are facilitating this mischief, they really don't know what's going on with their kids. And yeah, I want resolution. I want to feel safe in my community, and I don't.
The Hermosa Police Department says they are aware of this incident and they are investigating. I'm Gina Silva, Fox 11 News.
And taking a live look at LAX, whether you're staying home or heading out of town, you're probably hoping for a calm Thanksgiving. Meteorologist Star Harvey here now with your forecast, and it looks like it's going to be a great one.
Yeah, you know, if you're here in Southern California, we are anticipating that the weather will be very nice, sunshine in place, and temperatures above their normal. Now, if you're traveling outside, depending on where you go, you may bump into some wet weather or possibly even some snow. Right now, we are under dry conditions. It will get chilly across some of our area this evening, rolling into our overnight and early morning hours. We do have a frost advisory in place across the Antelope Valley. This will go through tomorrow morning, the 9 a.m. hour, where we could see those temperatures dip at or around that 32-degree mark, which in terms just means freezing out there. As far as our dense fog advisory, it is going to be near the Bakersfield area, going as far north as Fresno, and that dense fog advisory in place until later this week. Just letting us know that at times our visibility could be at about a quarter of a mile or less. So if you're traveling up and through the area, important to note. 58 degrees right now in Woodland Hills, 60 in Santa Ana, Big Bear 28 degrees, and we're at 54 in San Bernardino. I'll have more details on what to expect as we do roll into our Thanksgiving holiday, but for now, back to you.
We're going to tell you right here information on the death of a local teen whose body was found inside the trunk of well-known singer David may be hard to come by for a while. The LA County Medical Examiner's Office says that they will comply with a court order from the LAPD to not authorize the release of any records or details tied to the investigation of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. This includes details on the 15-year-old's cause of death. The chief medical examiner states in part, the practice of security holds is virtually unheard of in other counties and has not been proven to improve outcomes in the legal system. We are dedicated to serving our community with full transparency. However, the law precludes us from doing so while the court order remains in this case. Now, within the past week, TMZ has reported David being a suspect in her death and that his rental home was part of the investigation. TMZ reports a large freezer in that home is being investigated because the girl's body was reportedly frozen for months before her decomposed body was found in a trunk. That car was registered to David. Still ahead right here at 9 o'clock, a 12-year-old boy hit by a car while riding his bike. The driver takes off, leaving him seriously hurt. The search for the suspect underway. Plus, city leaders marched with community members taking a stand against widespread ICE raids, their demands for an investigation into the immigration operations and conduct by federal agents. Developing tonight, new video showing 3 people being taken into custody at the apartment complex in Del Rey, where an 8-year-old girl was wounded by gunfire. You can see 3 men being put in handcuffs right there and put into patrol cars. We have calls into the LAPD to get more details to find out if this is linked to the shooting. We'll bring you any updates as we get them. Meantime, the little girl is recovering tonight after the bullet went through a wall and grazed her in the back of the head. Fox 11's Haley Winslow in Del Rey with more.
Traumatized 8-year-old Helen sits in a hospital bed with her head covered in a bandage. She was shot in the head and miraculously survived.
They watched their daughter covered with blood and they took her to the emergency room and they were afraid they would lose her.
Sad and scared, Helen's mom recounts in Spanish, met by the Del Rey Neighborhood Council as the family returns home.
They're scared to death to live here. Would you want your kids playing in the living room when this just happened?
Inside the apartment, their daughter's toys, Christmas books, and along the top of the couch, her stuffed animal friends who comfort her while she watches TV, just as little Helen was doing Sunday afternoon.
Their daughter was sitting by the wall and the bullet came through and grazed her, and immediately they realized that she had been shot and the mom started screaming and their daughter was quite pale.
Police are investigating how or why the gun went off in the unit next door. Meanwhile, their neighborhood council is hoping to bring about positive change to an area they say desperately needs it and help this family, fortunate no doubt, but with a lot of healing ahead.
LA feels like a big city. But we're all little neighborhoods and we have to take care of each other. And this family needs our support right now in the Delray and Westside neighborhood. And so if anyone's in a position to support and help and reach out, this family could use that help.
LAPD is still investigating. If you'd like to help the family, we'll put a link to a GoFundMe in Little Helen's name on our website, foxla.com. I'm Haley Winslow for Fox 11 News.
Tonight's services are pending for the beloved Burbank canine shot and killed by a suspect who was running away from officers. It all happened Saturday night near the 5 freeway when police were doing a traffic stop. They say the suspect ran out of the car, leading officers on a chase. Police say the canine officer, Spike, found the suspect, but he shot the dog several times before taking off. Spike was taken to the vet where he died later. Burbank residents are remembering Spike today as a hero.
It hurts a lot. We appreciate animals, but we also take them for granted sometimes. So, he's our hero for sure.
The suspect was later killed in a shootout with police. There is no word tonight on his identity. And a live look at LAX. Lots of red lights, but come Wednesday, it'll of course be worse. It's expected to be another record-breaking travel week. Fox 11's Jonathan Seri has details on the big slowdown coming our way.
The nation's airports are facing their most significant stress test since the end of the government shutdown, as travelers pack their bags to visit friends and family for the Thanksgiving holiday.
This is going to be the busiest Thanksgiving that we have on record. 31 million passengers flying by air.
While things are in a better place than they were 2 weeks ago, flyers should still anticipate long lines and potential delays.
The earlier you get there, the less stress that you're going to have.
Lower your expectations. Take it slow. Take it at a toddler pace.
Meanwhile, AAA projects around 73 million Americans will hit the road. Remember to check your tires, fuel, and battery before you go. AAA says it responded to nearly 600,000 roadside service calls last year.
The good news for drivers is that gas prices are the same as they were last year. The national average was $3.06 last Thanksgiving. That's about what we're paying this year.
Tuesday and Wednesday are expected to be the worst days to drive or fly, along with the return trip on Sunday. If you do have to come back on Sunday, try to leave as early as possible.
Give yourself extra time. We sound like a broken record, but especially this year, we're expecting that people need to arrive at least 2 hours before a domestic flight.
Adding to the fun, the National Weather Service warns a polar vortex could be on the way, plunging temperatures across the central U.S. later this week. So don't forget to check the forecast before you head out the door. In Atlanta, Jonathan Seri, Fox News.
Weather is sponsored by American Career College.
Well, of course, no snow here in Southern California. Lots of sunshine and maybe eventually some rain. Star Harvey can tell you all that. She's the expert.
Yes, Laura, gorgeous conditions flowed in from this weekend into today. As we do approach our holiday, we are expecting that conditions will stay very nice. We're expecting to remain dry, not just that, but also warm up, and we may have some breezes across some of the area. A live look out at the LAX area, and despite all that traffic moving through our terminals, it's not so bad out there weather-wise. Here's a look into what's going on satellite and radar. Not much. We do have a decrease in cloud cover getting through the rest of our evening here. We also have that frost advisory in place. It is going to be across all of our highlighted blue regions here. We could see those temperatures near or below the freezing mark. This will be in place until 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. It does start at the 2 a.m. hour, getting into our Tuesday. We also have a dense fog advisory from the Bakersfield up through Fresno area. This will be in place for tomorrow between midnight to noon, and it will reoccur through at least Thursday in that same time frame, where across the area we could see our visibility reach 1/4 of an inch or less. Here across the Southern California area, LA to be exact, we are expecting that our temperatures will remain above where they are typically at through most of this week. We'll also see some gusty Santa Ana winds rolling through here as early as tomorrow and carrying us through at least our holiday Thursday. And then as we get to the weekend, we are not just noticing that we'll have a cooling trend develop, but also a slight chance for some rain moving in here, just about a 10% chance or so. Temperatures for today hit 71 degrees, so very similar to what we saw both Saturday as well as Sunday for our afternoon highs. That did put us just slightly above that normal. Getting into tonight, a decrease in cloud cover, so beautiful skies out there, temperatures at 55, and of course our winds on the calmer side as of now. Here's a look at how it's feeling out there. 60 at LAX, 58 down in San Pedro, 60 in Santa Ana, and Ontario, you're at 58 degrees right now. Here's a shift into tonight, although we will have some of the region in the freezing zone, like our mountains, but also some of the Antelope Valley area. Otherwise, temperatures in the upper 40s to the low 50s. As we get through the rest of this evening, dry conditions. This will be the story moving into tomorrow, but also our Wednesday as well as our Thursday. Just had to bring up our futurecast to show you how dry we're expecting it to remain through our holiday week.
Okay, after a couple of weeks ago, sounds good.
Yeah.
Coming up right here, Elon Musk exited the White House months ago. So what happened to the Department of Government Efficiency? We dive into the status of Doge next. The Trump administration is denying reports that the Department of Government Efficiency is dead. With 8 months left on its mandate, Fox's Darren Botello explains the back and forth.
Is Doge dead? That's the question on Capitol Hill after Scott Kapoor, the head of the Office of Personnel Management, said the Department of Government Efficiency, quote, doesn't exist as a centralized entity. Instead, the White House says the principles of Doge will be institutionalized within the various departments. And high-ranking officials say their work to eliminate government fraud and abuse continues.
What we have seen and what Doge and our amazing team at USDA, 186,000 dead people are receiving SNAP benefits.
Doge used to be among President Trump's highest priorities, but he hasn't mentioned the office in months. It drifted from focus after the president's falling out with Elon Musk. And now Democrats are demanding programs that have already been funded by Congress but cut by Doge be restored on the state level.
What Trump did in this Doge people is they fired all the people. Just send the money to New York State and the other states of the country, and we can get it done.
Doge claims it saved taxpayers more than $200 billion so far, well short of the $1 trillion goal. And most experts say if the administration wants to get more aggressive with its cost-cutting agenda, it will have to work with Congress.
There are a lot of things that they're doing around the edges to try and rein in the deficit, and obviously Doge, but ultimately it comes down to Congress to rein in spending.
The original Doge deadline was July of next year. That's when the mandate was expected to end. On Capitol Hill, Darren Botello, Fox Business.
Coming up, we're in El Segundo tonight, where the Los Angeles Chargers players are giving back to the homeless just in time for the holidays.
Plus, it's rivalry week here in L.A. USC taking on UCLA in football. Both schools hyping students up. We'll show you the festivities when we come back.
Across SoCal, this is LA Live News Tonight on Fox 11 Plus.
New tonight, LA pro sports teams are giving thanks to their fans this holiday season. Some are holding food drives, others catering dinner. They're serving up more than touchdowns ahead of Thanksgiving. Fox 11's Matthew Cedar live tonight in El Segundo with more from the Chargers, and they're doing something very kind tonight. Matthew?
Yeah, they're kicking off the holiday season with a huge feast. And what a venue. I mean, this really felt like a wedding venue or a big banquet tonight. It was wonderful to see. Go ahead and take a look at the video. You can see it was a party atmosphere here in El Segundo tonight at the Bolts at the practice facility. Lots of dancing, singing, and smiling tonight. The Thanksgiving event put on by Chargers kicker Cameron Dicker, hosting more than 30 homeless people, giving them a 4-course candlelight dinner, sharing the table with some of their favorite players like wide receiver Ladd McConkey, along with teammates J.K. Scott, Josh Harris, and Foster Sorrell. Cameron Dicker, the Salvation Army, and the King's Table, hoping tonight gives the homeless hope and a sense of dignity.
Wholeheartedly in King's Table is here just celebrating the holidays and bringing in homeless people to come and just have a meal together, just sit down, have a conversation, and just share the love that Jesus has for us, and hopefully inspire hope in their life.
So cool to see some of the homeless in L.A. sitting down with some of their favorite players on the Chargers tonight, all of them smiling and talking and spending the better part of 2.5, 3 hours together in this holiday season. We're putting live tonight, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
Well, Matthew, it had kind of an intimate feel about it, right? Sometimes we see these cavernous events in huge rooms, but this looked kind of small and like there was a lot of love in the room.
Yeah, there was a whole lot of love in the room tonight. They were all saying this was like a big family tonight. And honestly, it felt like a celebration. Lots of dancing, again, lots of smiling. And I talked about this at 8:30, but there was one moment tonight where wide receiver Ladd McConkey put out his phone and was showing people at the table his dog and just video of his dog. So just such a cool night to see all of this interactions taking place.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Hope the good feelings continue. Thank you so much, Matthew. It's rivalry week. USC and UCLA are playing each other this Saturday at the Coliseum. USC holding its annual Conquest Spirit Rally tonight. It celebrates the big football game against the Bruins with a carnival, food trucks, games, and prizes. Meantime, over at UCLA, Sky Fox was over Bruin Plaza for the Beat SC Week kickoff. They had tailgate games and a performance from the UCLA band. The first 300 students got to exchange any red piece of clothing, excluding undergarments, so they made sure they told you that, or a non-perishable food item for a Beat SC Week t-shirt. The big game is this Saturday at the Coliseum. May the best team win. And with that, we turn to Star Harvey to talk again about the weather. What will the game weather be like?
Yeah, you know, so as we do roll past this holiday and into our weekend, not much changing. So we should mostly be under dry conditions, and temperatures also on the cooler side come this weekend. Now, as we get through now into our holiday, we'll be dry, but also a slight tick up in our temperatures. We are expecting that with high pressure in place, we will see some of our temperatures slightly above where they are typically at. As of right now, we are in the 40s and 50s for most of us. We're at 57 in Burbank, 52 in Santa Barbara, 45 up in Victorville, and Palmdale, you're also at 45 degrees. Now, our winds are on the calmer side right now, pretty docile out there. We're seeing them move at about 5 miles per hour across LAX and across Whittier at 4 miles per hour, kicking up a little more across Malibu. And as we take a look into tonight, we are going to see a decrease in our cloud cover. So no more of that patchy fog like we did see last night. But as you can see here, temperatures will still fall into the upper 40s to low 50s. We'll have a few 30s on the map too. For instance, up in Palmdale, we're expecting to drop down into the 30s, where we also will have a frost advisory go into place, and it will carry through tomorrow early morning hours. That frost advisory also up near the Fraser Park area, 30s for you as well, and our mountains expected to see temperatures in the 20s. Now, after we get past today, Tuesday, and into Wednesday, that high pressure that is bringing beautiful conditions across the early parts of our week will move into the middle, but also the ending of our work week. So Thanksgiving holiday, it is looking good across Southern California. However, when we arrive at this weekend, we will have some of that cooler air seeping into our region, and with that, temperatures will cool down, and we'll also see a slight chance for some precipitation moving through the area. At best, we're looking at now, according to our models, about a 10% chance across some of the area. As we get through our future cast, wanting to show you our our winds kicking up. Gusty Santa Ana's across some of the area. This is not just for tomorrow. This will be the case moving into the middle of our week as well. So Wednesday, we'll be watching some of those hot spots that do have the contoured colors here on our map. And this should carry us at least through our holiday as well. So on Thursday, if you are going to be outdoors and in the backyard doing whatever you do, you may notice that some gusts moving in and through the area under dry conditions. It's not going to be dry everywhere here across our U.S. map here. We are anticipating that as early as tomorrow. Wet weather across the Midwest to the East Coast, down to the South, but also the Pacific Northwest. Moving through our Wednesday, a lot of the wet weather is going to be across the East Coast. And even Thursday, some snow falling into portions of the East Coast. Now, what we do want to do if we are going to be traveling to these places and coming back, good to note where the weather is. You always want to make sure to check your local forecast. And then moving into Friday, we do show some of the wet weather moving across the Texas area as well. As for us, again, dry conditions here across the Southern California area through this holiday week. Moving into tomorrow, there's a look at those temperatures jumping up. We were at 71 degrees for today. Tomorrow, we're taking up to at about 78. Wednesday, we'll be at 80 degrees. And then come the holiday, our temperatures dropping down just a little, but still above their averages at 75 degrees for the LA area. Laura.
New at 9 o'clock, a rising Latin musician and influencer is killed in Northridge. Police say 22-year-old Maria de la Rosa was shot early Saturday while sitting in a parked car on Bryant Street. Witnesses reported two men approached before opening fire. De la Rosa had over 40,000 Instagram followers and recently teased new music. Right now, police are investigating, but so far, no suspects have been identified. Tonight, a 12-year-old boy is recovering from serious injuries after being hit by a car while riding his bike in Anaheim. The driver involved has yet to be located. Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez has more on the victim and the ongoing search for that suspect.
I heard the car hit here on this side.
The red Honda you see on security video fleeing after hitting a 12-year-old boy riding an e-bike in Anaheim. The vehicle stopping after crashing into other cars down the street where the people inside the Honda took off.
They look young. They look like they were in between their maybe 20, 25.
Se lo pasó hacia la brava a una velocidad extrema.
The Honda sped through the stop sign, he says, explaining the 12-year-old boy was visiting with his son.
We're just gonna pray.
That young friend visibly shaken like so many others on the street today.
I have 10-year-old twins. They heard about the situation, and we all just sat on my bed last night and held our hands together and prayed because we were with him a few nights before. And so, yeah, it breaks my heart.
She owns the neighborhood market half a block from where the boy was hit.
We've talked about it with neighbors here that we need speed bumps. Traffic that comes through here sometimes doesn't stop, or they're just zooming through our neighborhoods when kids are just riding around trying to have a good time.
Jason, that's the 12-year-old boy's name. His family doesn't want the last name out yet, but they're telling us that he has a concussion, he has a broken leg and other injuries, but he is expected to make it. As to the suspects, police say the car goes back to Fullerton. They have an idea who the driver is, and hopefully they'll get that person into custody sooner rather than later. In Anaheim, I'm Christina Gonzalez, Fox 11 News.
A federal judge dismisses indictments against former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James. The court ruled the prosecutor, Lindsay Halligan, appointed by President Trump, was unlawfully installed without Senate confirmation. Both Comey and James denied the charges, calling them baseless and motivated by President Trump's attempt to punish his foes.
I'm grateful that the court ended the case against me, which was a prosecution based on malevolence and incompetence, and a reflection of what the Department of Justice has become under Donald Trump, which is heartbreaking.
While the cases were dismissed without prejudice, the statute of limitations may prevent refiling charges against Comey. Earlier tonight, our Marla Tejas spoke with well-known criminal attorney Lou Shapiro about what this means.
So with respect to Comey, there was a 5-year statute of limitations, meaning they had 5 years to bring the case, and otherwise they're out of luck. That's why they rushed to do this. Because the case was dismissed, the Trump administration is going to have a hard time convincing the next judge why the statute of limitations should still be in play, why that 5 years hasn't passed yet. So he's probably safe. With respect to James, she's still within the statute of limitations, so if they want to go back on her, they might be able to do so.
The Justice Department plans to appeal.
Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. We're gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, walking up to freedom land.
Today, lawmakers, religious leaders, and community members took part in a civil rights march, 2025 style. It was a show of support for the undocumented and U.S. citizens who've been taken into custody by federal immigration officers. Those actions are now under investigation by congressional Democrats. The hearing was passionate, with a cross-section of religious and community activists speaking. The idea was to document all that has happened here in Southern California during this tumultuous time.
They're being traumatized, and they're not here today. I'm here to speak for them. I'm their voice today.
Monday, in front of Our Lady Queen of Angels Catholic Church in downtown Los Angeles, city leaders, civil rights leaders, and faith leaders stood up for those in the eye of the immigration storm. They held signs, chanted, and demanded accountability. LA Mayor Karen Bass was vocal in her leadership.
We want to establish a record because when the political winds change, we want to hold those accountable. We want transparency and accountability for all of the egregious, unconstitutional acts that are taking place.
Los Angeles has been ground zero for immigration raids. For months, agents roamed the streets of LA, toting guns and chasing down undocumented immigrants. Some people were pulled from their cars by masked agents. Federal immigration officials say some 7,000 undocumented immigrants have been arrested in the LA area since June 6th. Fear over the raids left city streets empty, and church pews empty too.
There are a lot of fears, so people who are normally enjoy Sundays at the church, they were not more able to come just because of fear.
After the rally, supporters walked to the Metropolitan Water District building where the public hearing was held. Congressman Robert Garcia oversaw the proceedings. At issue is whether federal immigration agents have unlawfully detained U.S. citizens and others in recent months.
We will hold those that are breaking our Constitution and denying due process accountable. Now, the American people are also watching. In this country, no one is above the law, and the Constitution protects everyone. The Constitution clearly states that due process is afforded to all people, not just U.S. citizens, but non-citizens and others alike.
At the field hearing today, the launch of the Oversight Immigration Enforcement Dashboard was announced. It is designed to track and archive potential misconduct by federal agents, with over 250 alleged instances already documented. No Republicans participated in the hearing. And who's serving up the best grocery store fried chicken in LA? Up next, the LA Times has crowned a winner, and it might surprise you. Plus, from hidden ingredients to relatives pressuring just one more bite, how families of kids with food allergies can keep the peace and stay safe. But first, let's take a live look from our Earth Cam at the Elephant Park and Lodge in Valley. It's nearly 2 in the afternoon there. We checked the weather. It's 91 degrees with 80% humidity. The countdown to 2026 has begun. A dazzling new crystal ball will light up Times Square this New Year's Eve. Unveiled this morning, the ball features over 5,000 Waterford crystals, nearly double the previous version, and introduces circular crystals for the very first time. It's only the 9th update since the tradition began in 1907. The old ball will soon be part of a Times Square immersive exhibit opening next year. And looking for a holiday gift that creates lasting memories? Consider a vacation. Travel Tuesday on December 2nd this year offers huge discounts on flights, hotels, and travel packages. Experts say deals include up to 50% off major hotel chains like Hilton and Marriott, plus savings on flights through apps like Hopper. But act fast. Most offers last just 24 hours. To snag the best deals, research promo codes and dates ahead of time. And what's really in that pumpkin pie? And how do you handle the relative who insists your child just try a bite? Marla Tejas sat down with an allergist in our 6 p.m. hour to hear about the smart ways to stay safe and keep the peace.
Well, tonight, a holiday warning for millions of families living with food allergies, from hidden ingredients at potlucks to relatives questioning your child's diagnosis and demanding just one bite. Allergist Dr. Akansha Ganju joins me live with what you need to know before you sit down to celebrate. First of all, let's not peer pressure our family members, but it does happen. And that's why we're having this really important conversation. Good to have you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
So how common is this?
Yeah, so about 12% of the population has food allergies, and if you think about it, that's about 2 kids in every classroom, so it's actually very common.
Okay, so here we are, we're gonna go to grandma's or aunt's or whomever, friend's house, and they want you to, they just don't understand the allergy that your child has. How do you navigate this conversation?
Yeah, we get this question all the time from families. So I actually think this conversation starts with understanding what a true food allergy is, because the terms food allergy and food sensitivities get interchanged all the time. So a food allergy is when your body recognizes something as dangerous and then mounts a response against it that can look like anaphylaxis and can be life-threatening. But a food sensitivity is a digestive issue, so a problem with your body digesting the food, but it's not life-threatening upon accidental exposure.
Okay, so the best way to have the conversation with the host is just to literally lay it out? Like, we're talking life or death.
Exactly. I think they just don't understand the differences with the terms. And it's really tough for families to explain this to people who aren't used to thinking about these allergies. For example, I had a mom who was like, the host was great about keeping nuts out of the main dishes, but they left a mixed nut bowl on a low table that their child got into. And it's an innocent mistake, but it's a big risk.
Sure, certainly. So have this conversation before Thanksgiving Day if you are going to head somewhere else. Okay, got it. Mocktails and cocktails, those are a big thing around the holidays. How are those presented as concern?
Yeah, so people usually think about allergens in foods, but actually with adults with food allergies, many cocktails and mocktails will have allergens like egg whites or dairy or nut liqueurs. And actually those cocktail shakers that are used to make many drinks are a big risk of cross-contamination if they're not washing them with soap and water in between.
Okay, you're right. So because we're not talking kids when it comes to mocktails. I mean, I guess you could have a mocktail as a kid, but a cocktail, you don't think about that.
Yeah, you only think about food, but even then, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so keep that in mind if you're an adult with a food allergy. You are an allergist at Latitude Food Allergy Care. This is a relatively new space that popped up in Los Angeles. You have 3 locations now, but you're going to introduce a new one because people really need this. You provide allergen immunotherapy.
Yes, so at Latitude Food Allergy Care, we specialize in a treatment of food allergies called oral immunotherapy, or OIT, where we can desensitize you and build tolerance against your allergens. And we are very excited to increase access to this kind of care. So we have 3 locations now. We have one in Westwood, Sherman Oaks, and Irvine, and we're very excited to open Pasadena Clinic in January. So I know it's very hard to access this kind of treatment, and we want to expand that access and make sure that everyone feels safe.
As we are now fully into the holiday season, I mean, I know we haven't hit Thanksgiving, but it's just days away. This must be a busy time of year for you because this is about food.
Absolutely. We are definitely seeing more and more patients and expanding. And it's honestly been so amazing to watch these kids now eat foods they were once avoiding and no longer living in fear.
Life-changing, literally.
Absolutely.
And saving.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate all the great work that you do. For more information, you can head to latitudefoodallergycare.com. Dr. Akansha Ganju, thank you so much for being here, and happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays.
And who has the best grocery store fried chicken in Los Angeles? Well, the LA Times ranked 10 chains, and Albertsons and Gardena took the top spot. Its fried chicken stood out for its crispy, flavorful crust and juicy, well-seasoned meat. Writer Jen Harris says it's so good, she's bringing it to her holiday parties. Other contenders included Pavilions and Food for Less, but Albertson Gardena location reigned supreme. You got it right here. And a dramatic roadside rescue coming up. Police officers step in to deliver a baby after a mother's desperate cries for help go unanswered for hours. And before we head to break, let's head back out to Bali with a live look at the elephant park from our Earth Cam. Our live picture got cut off in the last segment, so let's see if we can spot some elephants this time. We'll look together.
One last check of your 7-day forecast. LA, Inland Orange County, we're shooting for a high of 78 degrees tomorrow. We are warming into the middle of this week, so 80 degrees come Wednesday. By our Thanksgiving holiday, we will see some clouds mixing in with the sunshine, but temperatures still above their normal for this time of the year, 75 degrees. And then as we move from Friday towards the weekend, we can expect temperatures to cool down. If you're along the coast shooting for a high of 70 degrees tomorrow, by your Thanksgiving holiday, temperatures will have slightly warmed up into the lower 70s still. Back to you.
Thanks, Tara. A big win for renters. RealPage and Greystar are settling lawsuits over inflated rents. RealPage agreeing to federal restrictions on its software, which use competitors' data to set prices. Now, meantime, Greystar, managing over 300 apartment complexes in California, will pay $7 million across 9 states and stop using the software. California Attorney General Rob Bonta says the case exposed illegal practices that kept rents high. The iconic Stall House, a mid-century modern masterpiece in the Hollywood Hills, is up for sale. The asking price is $25 million. The home, known as Case Study House Number 22, was designed by Pierre Koenig and made famous by Julia Schulman's photography. It has appeared in movies, TV shows, music videos, and is even featured in the video game Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. The two-bedroom, glass-walled home, a symbol of LA glamour, owned by the Stahl family since 1960, it's protected as a landmark and continues to host tours, though they're fully booked through February. Rancho Cordova police officers helped deliver a baby in an extraordinary roadside rescue. Last week, officers found a distressed 29-year-old woman in labor outside of a local business. The city is just a few miles east of Sacramento. Now, the woman told police she was crying for help for 3 hours before she was found. Officers Tracy and Thome quickly stepped in, delivering a healthy baby boy and comforting the mother. There you see a sweet photo right there. Fire crews later transported them to a hospital. We're told the very good news is that they're all doing well tonight. We thank you so much for watching LA Live News tonight. Our 10 p.m. newscast is just minutes away on Fox 11.